called Verde Island Passage, which is the center of global shorefish biodiversity. It is home to 54 marine protected areas and some endangered and threatened species like whale sharks and manta rays. The VIP also provides food and livelihood to over 2 million people, which is why it being reached by the oil spill is cause for concern.
Ideally, hindi umabot ang malaking fraction ng oil or ng oil slick sa Verde Island Passage. Kasi ito nga ay tinagurian na sentro ng marine biodiversity. Okay, so ang yamang dagat na makikita sa Verde Island Passage ay walang katumbas sa ibang lugar sa atin dito sa Pilipinas. Protection of this is very important for both biodiversity and our food source.
The UP Marine Science Institute has earlier projected this as a result of the weakening amihan, which shifted the direction of the wind. Also because of this, marine experts warned that more of the oil slick could reach Oriental Mindoro's capital of Calapan City and could possibly concentrate in the area from today until Wednesday. After almost 3 weeks of Oriental Mindoro dealing with most of the oil spill, the remotely operated vehicle or ROV, which will help locate the sunken oil tanker, has finally arrived in the province. The ROV has been inspected by government agencies including the Customs, Immigration, Quarantine and Coast Guard so it can be allowed to operate in the country. At around 2 p.m., the ROV has reached the Balingawan Point or the area believed to be the site of the wreckage. After the sonar screening, authorities gave the go signal for the ROV to be deployed underwater. 3 to 5 days, that's how long the ROV is expected to come up with a result on the situation of the sunken tanker. It can descend up to 2,000 meters, whereas Empty Princess Empress is currently situated 300 to 400 meters below the sea. Only then will responders be able to come up with a plan to siphon the oil from the tanker, which could take a few more days.
Kaya pa ba natin maghintay na another week, sir, sa damages po na dumarating sa atin?
This is better than nothing. At least meron na tayong pasimula ngayon. Ang mahalaga lang sa atin ngayon, yung step by step na tama, dumadating sa tamang oras.
Meanwhile, more discrepancies have been found in the permits of the sunken Empty Princess Empress. Though the tanker appeared to have the necessary permits to operate before it sank, there seems to be issues in the document, including errors in the name and designation of the signatory from Marina. The signatory's designation said Director for Franchising Service, when in fact, he is the NCR Regional Director of the Maritime Industry Authority or Marina.
I just want to clarify that as far as Marina NCR is concerned, wala po kaming ini-issue amended CPC. Number 2, wala po akong pinipirmahan na CPC for that particular vessel. So, in short po, to our opinion, to my opinion, hindi po siya, hindi siya authentic, so to speak. Kasi wala nga po kaming ini-issue CPC amendment.
Marina says it's now investigating the matter as well as accusations that the MV Princess Empress was a rebuilt scrap ship. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
That's the latest on the oil spill response. We have with us on the show Captain Ronald Acosta, Station Commander of the Philippine Coast Guard Station in Batangas. Welcome to the big story, Captain. Captain? We seem to be having technical problems getting the Captain Acosta with us. Babalikan na lang po natin mamaya.
Alright, move on muna tayo. The Secretary of Negros Oriental, Congressman Arnie Teves, will formally file complaints against the police officers who conducted raids in Teves' properties earlier this month. Hannah May Oray and 5 others were arrested during these raids for allegedly violating the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act. Oray has been released from detention after the Justice Department dismissed the complaint against her for a lack of probable cause. But according to Oray, her time in detention had been traumatic. She said that CIDG officers threatened her during interrogations and forced her to admit that she and Congressman Teves were involved in the Degamo murder. Oray's camp will soon file complaints for illegal detention and human rights violation against these CIDG personnel.
May pinadala silang papel, tapos binasa ko po, kunti-kunti lang kasi natatakot po ako yung nakalagay po doon na parang Sinasabi doon na may granada po yung bahay ko. Dapat pirmahan ko daw yun. Pero hindi ko talaga po pinirmahan po. Sabi niya pag tatamaan daw ako sa kanya, pag hindi daw ako operate.
Tama ang aming mga sinasabi na walang dapat na kasong sinampa kay Hannah May dahil dinismiss yung kaso laban sa kanya for no probable cause. Naninindigan kami at si Hannah May na walang dahilan para siya ay i-detain.
Meanwhile, the lower house is giving Congressman Teves 24 hours to return home to the Philippines. The House Committee on Ethics says that they will be forced to discuss disciplinary sanctions against Teves if he fails to attend the panel hearing tomorrow. Teves' camp has since requested to extend his stay in the United States for 2 more months, but this was denied by the lower house. The ethics panel also rejected Teves' request to give a privileged speech today through teleconferencing.
We give another chance of 24 hours for him to really personally appear in our committee. Otherwise, the action of the committee will be based on his non-appearance.
Meanwhile, one other suspect in the Digamo murder case has surrendered to authorities. Officials confirmed earlier today that a former soldier surrendered to the military in Negros on Saturday. The Justice Department said the suspect had a major hand in the ambush and holds crucial information about other persons involved in the killing. When asked if the suspect mentioned Congressman Teves, the DOJ had this to say.
What I can tell you is that there are circumstances which lead you to the conclusion that he was perhaps involved in the crime. But the specifics of that we cannot tell you as of now.
After this quick break, Senator Robin Padilla threatens to resign from PDP Laban if the party refuses to support charter change. We'll discuss this with PDP Laban Secretary General Melvin Matibag when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News. You're watching The Big Story here on One News.
Senator Robin Padilla made it clear once more that he will resign from PDP Laban if the party refuses to stand behind his campaign for constitutional reform. Mian Los Baños with the details.
Only 2 resource persons attended Monday's Senate hearing on the resolutions pushing for charter change. Those were former Senator Kit Tatad and PDP Laban Secretary General Melvin Matibag. Committee on Constitutional Amendments Chairman Senator Robin Padilla said they invited some members of the lower house to attend today's hearing, including House Committee on Constitutional Amendments Chairman Rufus Rodriguez. But in a statement, Rodriguez expressed his disappointment after the Senate canceled his invitation. The Solon said he was invited last March 14 and he was already prepared to go to the Senate and present CONCON, which he claims is data-driven and evidence-based. Senator Padilla, for his part, said it was not his choice to cancel the invitation, but it was Senate President Big Zubiri who told him that it would be better to discuss the matter with their counterparts in the House in an executive session.
Malungkot po. Hindi naman po masama ang loob kasi ako po ay soldier eh. Kailangan pag sinabi ng commander ko na si Senator President Big Zubiri, susunod po ako.
Zubiri explained that he is not in any way stopping the Chacha hearings. But if the discussion will be between senators and congressmen, it would be better to do it in a caucus, where the leaders and the chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments of both houses are present.
We heed the call of Congressman Elpidio Barzaga for a ceasefire in the heated discussions on charter change, calling instead for the leadership of both houses of Congress to hold a caucus.
Zubiri further explained that traditionally the Senate does not invite incumbent members of Congress as resource persons, as they are accorded interparliamentary courtesy. The Senate President also reiterated his stand on Chacha, in which it is not a priority. On Tuesday, the PDP Laban will conduct a meeting to decide the party stand on charter change. The 32 congressmen and 4 senators who are members of the PDP Laban are expected to attend the meeting.
I'm speaking personally as a Secretary General of PDP kasi wala pa pong official na stand sa process ang PDP Laban.
Senator Padilla, however, warned that once his party refuses to support Chacha, he will not only be hurt but he will bolt from the party as well.
Kung sasabihin sa akin ng partido, bukas, na wag nating suportahan ng charter, araw na yon, resign din ako at independent na ako.
Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
Here to share with us their thoughts on Chacha talks, along with Senator Padilla's pronouncements, we have with us live via Zoom PDP Laban Secretary General Attorney Melvin Matibag. Attorney Matibag, welcome po to the big story. Attorney Matibag, nakamute pa po yata kayo.
Yeah, good evening, Robbie. Good evening, Sean, and again, thank you for inviting me in your program.
Tapa. Ay, good evening po. And maybe bigyan niyo po kami ng linaw kung saan po ba talaga nakatungtong at nakatayo ngayon ang PDP Laban. Ay, kanina sabi ni Senator Padilla, kung hindi susuportahan ang panawagan ko sa Chacha, but I also heard you mention the word process. Ano po ba talaga ang posisyon ngayon dito ng PDP Laban?
Well, it is already clear that we are supporting the efforts of Senator Robin Padilla as to the charter change. The only question is the modality. But of course, we have to recognize and respect the position of our congressmen and congresswomen from the House of Representatives for PDP Laban who already signed the bill endorsing a constitutional convention. But I have to admit there are some who want some modality of Constitutional Assembly. So it's just on the process, the modality. But as to the charter change, we're giving full support to Senator Padilla.
The party is set to meet tomorrow. Kampante naman po kayo that you will be able to come up with a common position there.
We already have talks with the leadership and among us sa mga seniors ng party, and I think there's already a consensus on to support the charter change being pushed by Senator Padilla.
Attorney Matibag, will former President Duterte be present in tomorrow's meeting as the party chairman?
He was invited, but as far as I know, yung 4 na senators and the congressmen are attending and some governors. We'll be happy if our chairman, former President Duterte, will be present. The last time I talked to Senator Bongo, I think he's inviting former President Duterte.
Do we know where former President Duterte stands on charter change and the modality, at least at present?
He already mentioned that to us privately, so I'd rather not mention it, but his direction will be very important. I think we'll just wait for him to be the one to announce his position on the matter.
Attorney Matibag, kung malinaw naman po sa inyo that you are, in principle, supporting charter change and it's just a question of the modality, saan po nang gagaling yung parang disappointment ni Senator Padilla? He really sounded as if that this was a matter that he did not even know where the party stood. Did this catch you by surprise?
No. Actually, ako, hindi nga, I think that's not a disappointment. That is a statement of confidence.
si Senator Padilla is our Executive Vice President. I think the reason is mentioning that he already know that the party is supporting him in his efforts. Parang yun yung basa ko doon nung sinabi niya yun. Actually, I was present during the hearing, before and after the hearing. We had a long talk and he knows the stand of the party. It's more of a confident that he got the support of the party.
Sige, maraming salamat po, PDP Laban Secretary General Attorney Melvin Matibag.
In other news, anti-narcotics operatives intercepted a parcel containing 9.89 million pesos worth of illegal drugs at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. Found inside the parcel were 6.1 kilos of marijuana, 17 milliliters of marijuana liquid, and nearly 3,000 ecstasy tablets. The Padilla now has in their custody the 5 consignees of the parcel who are facing charges for violating the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act and the Customs Modernization Act. Meanwhile, amid reports of alleged human trafficking at the NAIA, Senator Raffy Tulfo said there could be a turf war going on among concerned government agencies.
And I believe ito po'y away ng NIA, ng immigration, ng customs, ng quarantine, at kung ano pa mga otoridad sa airport, away ito ng turf. Nagkabukulan.
In world news, Russian President Vladimir Putin faces an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court over atrocities committed in Ukraine. The ICC is accusing Putin of war crimes following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Moscow has since dismissed the arrest warrant against Putin, noting that it is not a party to the Rome Statute. Political observers believe that it is unlikely for Putin to be arrested, but the arrest warrant could limit his foreign trips and interaction with other world leaders. Over in the United States, former President Donald Trump says he's expecting to be arrested on Tuesday. Trump cited leaks from the Manhattan District Attorney's office, but there has been no official confirmation about this. The supposed arrest is believed to be in connection to the criminal case involving hush money payments made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. If indicted, Trump will be the first former U.S. president to face criminal charges. And after the break, authorities are looking to roll out jail libraries to foster learning for persons in detention. We'll find out more when the big story returns. Keep it here on One News.
You're still watching The Big Story here on One News.
More and more private vehicles have been seen using the EDSA busway. Netizens have been posting videos of private cars taking the busway and getting away with it. Aside from buses, only emergency vehicles and government-marked cars are allowed to use the exclusive bus lanes. Data from the MMDA shows that more than 1,000 private vehicles have been caught using the EDSA busway in the first 3 months of the year. This is already half the total cases recorded in 2022. The MMDA admits having a hard time arresting violators, especially during rush hours. Transport agencies will be meeting tomorrow to discuss what to do with this problem.
Kapag nanikit ka sa bus lane, tumutukod. Kaya ang tendency namin, pinapagsabihan na lang. At kapag wala naman masyadong kasunod na sasakyan, doon kami nagtitiket.
And before we go, it's not just students who benefit from libraries. Soon, persons deprived of liberty may be able to read and study once again. The BJMP recently launched Read Your Way Out, advancing prison reform through libraries for lifelong learning in places of detention. This program seeks to add libraries in selected jails as it includes reading activities in its rehabilitation programs for PDLs. It also seeks to incorporate reading activities as one of the options for PDLs to earn a time allowance for study, teaching, and mentoring. These time allowances reduce time in sentences and facilitate decongestion through early release.
Kung meron po silang 1 year na sentensya, sa every month na nagsistay sila sa amin at nagpa-participate sila sa reading program, ay mababawasan po ng 15 days a month. At baka less than a year na lang po ay lalaya po sila.
Great program.
It is very great. Di ba? I mean, kung pag magdagdag pa sila ng programs and pretty soon we'll have well-rounded PDLs who are probably going to be more ready to face the world after release.
Yeah, and let's remember, we're calling them PDLs precisely because a lot of these people haven't actually been convicted. Some of them have been in detention for years, still waiting for trials, still waiting for hearings, or even just charges. So, I mean, this is the least that government could be doing for them.
It's the least that we could do.
And that's the big story tonight. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. You may also log on to onenews.ph for more in-depth analysis. Ako po si Robbie Alampay.
The Big Story is also available via Signal Play. Make a free account now at signalplay.com and stream One News anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao. Stay safe, Philippines.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.